Hi everyone. This is a special lesson. Actually, this lesson is known to you. You have got this text before. I have sent it along with the video clips. So, as the title shows on the screen, it's about theoretical framework and conceptual framework. Naturally, everyone will have a problem about theoretical framework and conceptual framework. Because most of the time some people use it interchangeably. Some people use theoretical framework for conceptual framework and conceptual framework for theoretical framework. And as the term indicates, theoretical framework is a framework of a theory. So it's from a theory. So these two things put side by side on the screen will make it clear to you. A theoretical framework is a broad explanation of the relationship that exists between concepts. So concept means an idea. So these ideas are connected and formed a theory. And as you know, a theory is always made after so many experiments. People experiment with the hypothesis and at last come to a conclusion that it happens. So that is a theory. But conceptual framework is not like that. A conceptual framework is developed as a theoretical framework. That means conceptual framework is not theoretical framework. It's only a concept. Based on that concept, people conduct experiments and come to a conclusion and make it a theory. So you can understand that conceptual framework is only the beginning. So it is essential for a researcher. A researcher begins with conceptual framework, and after so many experiments, they make it a theory. And see, the next part, a theoretical framework is based on one theory. Theoretical framework is based on only one theory. But you see, on the other hand, conceptual frameworks may belong to many theories. It may be an idea of one theory or more than one theory. So it's only a concept. See, here it says, when no existing theory fits the concepts that the researcher wishes to study, the researcher may construct a conceptual framework. That means conceptual framework is made by the researcher. He associates the variables that he uses in his research and forms a conceptual framework. And that framework must be studied again and again and proved to be a theory. And then it will become a theoretical framework. And see the next part, the concepts of the study relate back to the theory. That means after forming the conceptual framework, those concepts used in the conceptual framework will relate back to a theory. That is based on the theoretical framework. That means theoretical framework gives the concepts which can be further examined and formed as a theory. That is on the part of theoretical framework. Is that okay? But conceptual framework describes the beginning and the movement towards the theoretical aspect of the study. That means it explains the relationships of the concepts. There will be more than one concept sometimes. Sometimes it will be only a single concept. And this concept may be from a theoretical framework or may be a concept formed by the researcher himself. And see the last part at the left hand side, that is theoretical framework. Theoretical frameworks start out as a conceptual framework. That means a researcher begins with a conceptual framework. And with that, the researcher will develop the theory and form it a theory. And then only it will become theoretical framework. So is that clear to you? Theoretical framework and conceptual framework. Conceptual framework is the beginning step, and they will conduct the tests again and again and prove it to be a theory. Is it okay? Theoretical framework is based on a theory which is already established by someone. But conceptual framework may be from a theory which was formed by others earlier, or it may be the concept developed by the researcher himself. And a researcher begins with a conceptual framework. And actually, as you know, the conceptual framework is the flow chart. The flow chart that shows the actions of the researcher beginning from the beginning to the end. That means the flow chart shows how the research activities go on, or the variables in the research will be associated together to show the way of the action. That is conceptual framework. So if you have a conceptual framework in your research, that means you are on the ground footing. So without that, a research will not be easy, or it will not be as scientific as a research which begins with a conceptual framework. It makes your work easy and systematic. That's all. Thank you.